Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the LD23 channel. Today is IRacing Predicts episode 2 at quote-unquote Mexico City. We're in Orland Park, a track that actually does not exist anymore, but I thought it was going to be a good replacement for Mexico City because Mexico City is not on the actual schedule, or it's not on the actual game of iRacing yet, and I was going to do Road America, but the laps are just going to take way too long. So here's actually the playoff grid. Made a little graphic here, as you can see everybody with wins on the left. Elliott in by 152 and stuff like that. So on to Denny Hamlin news. In real life, this was recorded before the announcement that Denny Hamlin was missing. So he is in this race. He will be in Pocono as well, because the different cars that he use. Um, so I try to wait it out. I did this race around 3 o'clock Thursday, and then later that night they announced Hamlin was not racing. Same with Bowman. Bowman might not race, but I think he'll be able to tough it out. But so Denny Hamlin is in this race, even though he's missing the real Mexico race. But here we go. Here's a lap, my qualifying lap around Orland Park. I'm gonna have the driving line on. I'm sorry, I don't go to this track enough, nor am I good enough to drive without the driving line. So into turn one, gonna get on the brakes earlier than the driving line. Turn in very sketchy because if you dip a tire into the grass slash dirt, you're cooked off of two. In second gear, you're gonna be in second gear. I think actually I'm in second gear the whole entire lap outside of the front stretch. Turn the car, get on the gas. Again, I'm being very cautious. I don't want to spin. Start last. Little offset corner there. Up over a bridge, which is always nice. Nice little scenery. Back on the gas through one of the harder corners on the track. A blind right-hander until you go downhill. Then you have to be careful because the evolution change. Wow, I'm crazy. Yeah, that's bad. You then go through here pretty fast. Sometimes you want to go through third for traction. You can probably get through there flat. Again, I'm being cautious. And then through the final corner, we get on the gas, and it will be up to the line where we actually end up P7 or 8, P7. But here we go, 40 laps. Larson, I believe, was on pole, or Hamlin, I don't know. But I know it was Larson. Green flag. We are underway as Hamlin is side by side. Ignore my terrible camera work there. Into turn one, lap one. This is a very treacherous part, but it looks like actually Larson will be able to hold on to the lead. Hamlin in second. You see I go wide there next to Ryan Preece, who had a pretty good qualifying. One of those cars on the bubble. As I go through the whole field, there was actually an incident with that guy right there, Alex Bowman. I'll hit a replay here. 3 wide. Reddick and SVG. 3 cars do not fit. He gets turned and gets back going. Stages for this race are 8, end of 8, end of 20, then the end of the race. Going to follow Preece up through here. Again, a pretty tricky lap as we're still following him. You don't want to be too close here because with iRacing, if you tap the car in front, you also go around. So just kind of buying my time through here. Also, I'm sorry for the white bar on the top. I'm not really sure why that was there. It was gone when I was going back to the replay. So that was somewhat annoying. But through the last corner, still just buying time, following Preece to complete the first lap, buying my time and almost crashing. As we're actually going to have a run on Preece, going to go to the inside, look better of it, get on the brakes early, and there's the yellow and red flag because of the 48 going off and having some stuff on the track. Is actually, I think on lap 5, Denny Hamlin's going to bounce back at Larson. As AJ Allmendinger right behind, somebody who needs points. He's right on that cut line. As you can see a car go off, that's going to be a theme of this race. Let me just say that it was me, and it was by myself, and it was fault. Me, myself, and I reference. My fault. That was cringy. Didn't brake and then broke too late. That's quite literally what happened. Didn't take out Priest, thankfully. But yeah, a pretty stupid mistake, and you probably see, or no, you will see more of those. This is the only race where you're gonna see mistakes from me, really. outside of Mishbal. You're going to see a lot of mistakes from me throughout this series, but ideally, I'm going to try not to ruin other drivers' race. But lap 7, coming to the last lap. Oh, what do you know? Another mistake for your boy. I don't know what I was doing here. I hit the brakes and then hit the gas, and then I don't know. I'm mad, so I just full throttle the thing, killing the tires. Stage is ending here in a second anyway. Just lost it. Quite literally lost talent for the second time in 7 laps. So, not my brightest moment. I can't wait to go to a real racetrack in Pocono Raceway. That's what Kyle Busch would say, but he hasn't won a race in a while. So, yeah. So I had to go back to get the end of stage 1 as this is the last lap. My roster just got deleted. I don't know what happened to it. This is the only clip. There will not be any paint schemes. That's why there will be a lack of racing in the third stage. Because I didn't really want to do this like this. But Hamlin's gonna win the stage. Sorry that it's scuffed. But yeah, Hamlin wins stage 1 here at Mexico. I'm just gonna call it Mexico from here on out, not Oran Park. As Bell gets 5th. Briscoe, Priest, SVG, Byron, and then Bush rounds out the top 10. Okay, here we go. Stage pit stops. It's quite a bit of different strategy here. Hamlin pits, Larson, Allmendinger, Chastain, Bell, Briscoe, Priest, SVG. They all stay out. Byron, Bush. But there's a lot of cars in the back pitting. Ty Dillon, Logano, Elliott. As we get the start of stage 2 underway here, this one I think is actually going to be shorter in laps because of how many pace laps there were. But Larson, Allmendinger, side by side into turn 1. Bell in 3rd, Chastain 4th, Priest 5th. And there's contact, and the one car goes around. The 60 of Ryan Priest gets tagged. Now Chastain's gonna have to wait, then get going. And then cut turn 1 there, as Larson continues to lead. Briscoe up to 5th. Actually, Priest is way back there, and he's not even rejoined. There he is. He went way off. Here's an onboard, and Chastain just tried to clear himself. And then Priest goes way wide trying to get up there, and then has to wait for everybody to pass Ryan Priest as we jump on board of my car on the restart lap 13 of 40. Still quite a ways away left in this race. Again, this track very tough as we're gonna look for a move on John Hunter. Can't quite make it as we go through the little quick S's and down into the final corner and late on the brakes, and I just completely took John Hunter out. And if you saw, the leaders are pitting. Obviously, I think the pit road's actually closed IRL after the first lap. But yeah, Larson, Allmendinger, Bowman, all those guys, SVG, I think, are all pitting. Obviously, I can't control that. Stage racing, the AI don't know really how stage racing works. You can't implement it in the game. As Joey Logano takes the lead, we jump to lap 14, following Herbst, as Todd Gilliland actually goes really wide, as we follow Herbst through the S's yet again. This time, we're going to do the exact same thing we did to John Hunter. And that was... I don't like doing this because I just wrecked the AI, and, you know, they're technically battling for something. As you see Gilliland, who actually got quite a bit of air, makes contact with Hocevar. And then I'm following Herbst, and I do what I said I didn't want to do, and I just completely took him out. I took him out just how I took out John Hunter on accident. So, real courses will probably be like this, but, you know, on ovals, I'm going to try my best not to do this at every single damn road course, because it's twice in 2 laps as we're going to go by the Mexican of Daniel Suarez. A home race, kinda. This ain't Mexico, though. So, as we're going to fight Custer now, he goes defensive, then we're still going to go down the inside. I do not do what I did to the other Toyotas. As we go up through the bridge yet again. This was a really fun racetrack. I'm not good with the next gens, as there's another yellow and red flag because of um, the sand, and I'm gonna, yeah, shocker. Well. Logan Dryling into the wall, another spin. Um, yeah, that even caught me off guard. I forgot about this. Another mistake. I don't like these videos being focused around my dumb mistakes. So, hopefully for Chicago, Sonoma, the Roval, it'll be a little bit cleaner and more of the AI racing and not me running out of talent. But I'm still getting used to this as Joey Logano leads, Tyler Reddick following in suit, and Tyler Reddick going to go side by side, a very risky place to pass, but Reddick has the pace over Logano. Logano not really much of a road racer, and is going to go side by side, blitz pass, Denny Hamlin right behind him, and takes the lead, or takes second away from Logano. As we now cut to Denny Hamlin following Reddick. Actually, I think this might be the end of stage 2. It is. And Reddick will not be scored any points. Hamlin's going to win the stage. Second will be the next car out, even though he just crossed the line in second. I'm going to keep that in. I don't like... The AI don't know what stage racing is. You can't implement that into iRacing. So, like, Chase Elliott will get third. I figured I would clear that up because that can get a bit confusing. But anyway, we're going to go back racing. Final stage, stage 3, 20 laps to the end. We're back racing. As you can see, Tyler Reddick way back there as it's Larson and Allmendinger. They're going to try. And you probably expect them to pit at the end of this first lap. They're going to be pitting really soon after this restart. They're going to try to stretch their fuel just enough to, just keep the track position. As Allmendinger, who again was 20th in the points, as I'm doing a great camera work there. Wow, awesome. As Larson goes up to second. You have Byron and Bell battling for third. SVG right behind there in fifth, having a good day. You'd expect him to be a little bit better. As now, Bell and SVG, Shane Van Gisbergen side by side again. As now you have Wallace, Reddick, and all these guys, as there's Cody Ware off the track. Cody Ware just decides to cut the track and then stop. As we go through the field, you have Reddick. You don't see my car. Well, guess what? Yeah, I wrecked another AI. Uh, I'm really sorry. And this time it was Carson Hocevar. I really don't feel... It's not that bad because everybody I wrecked were already running in the back. Here, I just get throttle happy into the wall. Boom. Same with Carson Hocevar, which I will be using the Kansas car set for Pocono, so it'll be more realistic. And then I'll use the actual Mexico car set for Chicago, and then so on and so forth. So just so it's a bit more realistic, and then I'll use Pocono for Atlanta, etc. But yeah, just got trigger happy. Fox camera right there. Just wrecked Hocevar. I feel terrible. But at the same time, they're running in the back. This is what happened. Bowman and Ware make contact. Good save by Bowman. But then Cody Ware just cut the track. As we go to, I believe, lap 26 or so, those guys who stayed out are all in. Allmendinger, Larson, Byron, Shane Van Gisbergen, and everybody else stays out. As that will give the lead down to, I believe, Tyler Reddick. But that Bubba Wallace, all those guys pitting. They're going to try and stretch it to the end because that's going to be big for SVG and Allmendinger. Those guys are at the end of the playoffs. They need a win, especially SVG. And then a couple laps later, yep, here comes Reddick. And this is going to be big because where are these guys going to cycle out? Cindric takes the lead. Logano stays out. Ty Gibbs, he's like 20th in the points. He needs a good run as well. He's, with this strategy, might be able to do well. Same with Cindric. Cindric has a win. Same with Logano, but Gibbs is in. Hamlin stays out and takes the lead as these guys are going to try the same setup strategy as Reddick, Elliott. These guys actually stayed out at the end of stage 2. So we have two different strategies just into turn 1. Josh Berry and Ryan Preece make contact. As now the drivers who pit at the end of stage 2 under that caution are now going to pit Hamlin, I presume Elliott, Ricky Stenhouse, who's having a relatively good day, Zane Smith, Ryan Blaney, literally everybody else. Ryan Priest, the guy who just shoved that guy off the track, and Josh Berry, Gibbs, or Herbst, Ty Dillon, and then myself. I actually pulled off the racetrack after that. And now the guy who pit immediately after stage 2 start or stage 3 started, William Byron takes the lead of this race. He is leading off pace. And look, Reddick shuffled out a second. This can work for William Byron, Kyle Larson, those guys. This is crucial for this race because they have a chance to win now. Michael McDowell, somebody who I don't even think was top 20 after Michigan, has a good run in the sim, and now he's running top 10. This is massive for the playoffs as everybody cycles out. Byron coming to only a few laps to go off the last corner. He has to pit. So Byron doesn't have enough fuel. What about Larson? Larson, he's losing. No, Larson doesn't have enough fuel. These guys, the strategy isn't going to work. Hamlin has enough fuel. Busher, Bubba doesn't. Chastain, Allmendinger don't have enough fuel. SVG, Bell, they don't have enough fuel. These guys, Gillen, Zane Smith, Gregson, or no, Bell does have enough fuel. Don't have enough fuel. As we cut to the last lap, Tyler Reddick does have enough fuel. So does Hamlin and Cindric. And off the final corner, Tyler Reddick, who's had an amazing season, just hasn't found victory lane, finds victory lane. He's in. He wins. He was already 150 something in, but he's locked in. Cindric second, Hamlin third. But a really, really fun race to do. I'm really sorry about the constant collisions. I'll try and clean that up, especially for Chicago. That will be very fun. I didn't do that much practice for this race. I did probably like a 20 laps or like a bump. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Points will be shown at the start of the Pocono week. Um, every track that's in the game is on the schedule, so we won't have a weird race like this. But I hope you guys enjoyed. It's only going to get better from here, and I'll see you guys for Pocono weekend next week.